There was a time when I was chasing clients, chasing money, chasing results. Every day felt like a battlefield. I thought I had to hustle harder, speak louder, and fight for my place. But everything changed the moment I understood that the power wasn't outside me. It was inside, quietly waiting to be claimed. I was sitting in silence one morning, frustrated and worn down, when something within whispered, "You've tried everything, now try believing." And in that moment, I didn't just believe in possibility, I embodied it. I spoke 2 words, quietly but with certainty. I am. Those 2 words made me a millionaire. Not instantly in dollars, no, but instantly in state. And when the state changed, the world followed. I am is not just a phrase, it is the divine act of claiming your identity. Whatever follows I am becomes your world. Say, I am broke, and lack will bow to your command. Say, I am wealthy, and the universe will begin rearranging itself to make that truth your experience. I stop saying I want. I stop saying I hope. I stop saying one day. I replaced all of them with the present tense declaration. I am. I am rich. I am free. I am blessed. I am successful. And I didn't wait for the evidence. I became the evidence. Every morning I repeated it, not with desperation but with quiet certainty. I didn't need to scream. I didn't even need to explain. I just needed to feel it as true. And then the clients came, the opportunities came, the ideas came, money showed up from channels I had never considered. Why? Because the outer is only a shadow of the inner, and once I embodied the wealth within, it reflected without. Let me tell you, it wasn't a tactic, it was a truth. The richest people in the world live in the state of having. They don't ask for permission, they declare. So I invite you to stop waiting, stop asking, stop affirming from a place of absence. Instead, claim your fortune in the only moment that exists. Now, say it, live it, be it, I am, and let the world rise up to match it. Every word you speak carries the power of creation. You may not realize it, but the words you whisper in frustration, the phrases you repeat in worry, and the thoughts you entertain in silence are all planting seeds in the invisible soil of your reality. These words are not empty. They are vibrational patterns, alive with potential, ready to manifest into form. When you speak, you are not just communicating, you are constructing. Every sentence, whether laced with doubt or drenched in faith, impresses itself upon the unseen substance of life. And this unseen substance does not question or argue, it responds. This is why nothing in your external world is truly random. Your circumstances are the harvest of prior declaration, spoken or unspoken. They are echoes of beliefs long held and words long repeated. Most people look at the outside world and assume it holds power over them. But the truth is the opposite. Your external world is only a delayed reflection of your inner dialogue. Like the delayed bloom of a planted seed, there is a pause between thought and form. But make no mistake, it comes. The universe does not respond to desperation or effort. It responds to identity. And identity is built by word and feeling. When you say, I am unlucky, you are not simply describing a mood. You are commanding reality to align with that identity. When you say, nothing ever works out for me, the world around you silently agrees. You don't get what you want, you get what you consistently affirm, especially when backed by feeling. That is the invisible law that governs all things. So the question is, what words are you planting? What sentences are you rehearsing? Are you speaking as someone who lacks or someone who has? Are you talking like a victim or like the creator? Because reality does not judge, it simply reflects. Speak abundance and abundance must appear. Speak favor and doors must open. Speak love and you will draw to yourself relationships that match that tone, even if the outer world resists. Persist in the new story, for the old must give way to the new. You do not need to force change. You simply need to align your speech with the version of you that already has what you desire. Say, I am chosen. Say, I am wealthy. Say, everything is working out in my favor. Say it before it's visible, because saying it while waiting is hope, but saying it while knowing is faith. And faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Treat your words like sacred seeds. Do not scatter them carelessly. Speak only what you desire to grow. If you do not want it in your life, do not plant it with your lips. Be intentional, be conscious, and above all, be consistent. For in time, your life will not be a result of chance or circumstance. It will be the living garden of your spoken truth, and you will stand in awe of the harvest you yourself created, not with struggle, but with the quiet power of your own words. Money for most is seen as the reward of effort. Work more hours, produce more results, and you will receive more in return. This is the surface-level understanding that governs much of the world. But beneath that surface lies a deeper truth, a quiet and eternal law. Money does not originate from labor alone. It flows from the state of being. The true currency is not paper, not coin, not digital numbers in a bank account. The true currency is consciousness. Your outer world is an exact mirror of your inner state. If you live in the consciousness of wealth, abundance, and freedom, the world must take shape to reflect that. If, however, you operate from a place of lack, struggle, and need, no amount of labor will permanently change your financial experience. You may temporarily rise, but the inner thermostat of your belief will pull you back to what you truly feel you deserve. To change your financial condition, you must first change your identity. An identity is nothing more than a consistent assumption about yourself. When you assume the feeling of being wealthy, without needing physical evidence, your subconscious mind accepts it as real. Once accepted, this assumption begins to express itself through ideas, opportunities, and actions that are in harmony with wealth. People call this luck or timing, but it is neither. It is simply the world responding to your internal state. You do not have to know how the money will come. You are not required to plan every detail. Your role is to assume the feeling of already having it. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and feel the relief of knowing your bills are paid, your desires fulfilled, your life supported. Dwell in the satisfaction of that reality as if it were now. Not someday, not soon, now. When you do this consistently, something begins to shift. You speak differently. You walk with greater certainty. You become more open to inspiration. New ideas come to you that match your new vibration. Conversations take on new meaning. People begin to treat you in alignment with your new self-concept. And what you once chased begins to flow toward you naturally, easily, silently. Understand this. The world of form is only a shadow cast by your inner state. You do not beg the shadow to change. You change the object casting it. That object is your assumption. That object is your consciousness. The wealthy are not wealthy because they work the hardest. They are wealthy because they are wealth. They carry it in their mind, in their attitude, in their expectation. Even in times of apparent loss, they return to that state of certainty and abundance, and the world readjusts to match them. You must do the same. The great secret is this: your being is the cause, and your bank balance is the effect. Shift the cause and the effect must fall. Begin now, not tomorrow, not when circumstances approve. Begin now, in silence, in imagination, in faith. Assume the wealth, live the wealth, and the wealth will come. Not as a stranger, but as a reflection of your own self. Let your consciousness be rich, and the currency will follow. Repetition is not merely habit. It is the gateway through which the unseen becomes seen. Every word you repeat is not just a sound, it is a seed. And when repeated with feeling, that seed is watered, nurtured, and brought to life in the soil of your subconscious. Repetition forms reality, not by force, but by faith. What you speak over and over again with conviction becomes the framework upon which your entire life is built. This is the secret behind every affirmation, every silent prayer, every whispered declaration. When you repeat a word or a phrase often enough, your inner mind accepts it as truth, and once it is accepted within, the world outside must conform. This is not superstition, it is law. The subconscious does not argue, it does not evaluate, it only receives and reflects. If you continually affirm, "I am abundant," even if your bank account says otherwise, your subconscious begins to shift your self-concept, and in time your reality must align. But repetition alone is not enough. It must be repetition fused with conviction. Saying something without feeling is like writing on water. There is no impression made. But when you speak your words with emotion, when you feel them as real in the moment, they sink deep, carving new channels in the mind, reshaping your belief, reordering your world. This is why the words you say in frustration or fear are just as powerful. Nothing ever works for me. I can't afford that. I always get left behind. These two are repeated prayers. They may be unconscious, but they are still commands. And the universe does not differentiate between a deliberate affirmation and a casual complaint. It only responds to the energy behind the words. To take back your power, you must take hold of your words. Speak only what you want to live. If you want peace, declare it. If you want success, affirm it. If you want love, repeat it into your world until it feels familiar, until it becomes your new home. Do not worry if your mind resists in the beginning. That is natural. The old beliefs may shout back, but stay with it. Repetition breaks resistance, and eventually the inner tide turns. Let your affirmations become sacred. Make them a part of your daily rhythm, as natural as breathing. Speak them in the morning, before the world speaks to you. Whisper them at night, when the mind is most impressionable. Let them replace your idle thoughts. Let them become your inner dialogue. And when doubt creeps in, repeat again, not to beg, but to reaffirm. You are not trying to make something happen. You are training your mind to accept what already exists in the invisible. You are not convincing the universe. You are convincing yourself. And once you do, the universe follows. Ooh. Reality is nothing more than hardened belief. So soften the old with new words, spoken again and again, with love, with strength, with certainty. Speak your world into being, one word, one repetition, one truth at a time. For what you continue to affirm, with conviction, must eventually appear, not as a miracle, but as a natural result of your own inner work. Repetition forms reality. Let yours be beautiful. Wealth does not begin in the bank, it begins in the mind. What you hold as true about yourself becomes the mold through which life pours all of your experiences. You do not become rich by acquiring, you become rich by remembering. You reveal yourself as already being the embodiment of abundance. The identity comes first, the money is just the echo. When you say, "I am," you are not merely describing yourself, you are creating yourself. These are the two most powerful words in the universe, for whatever follows them becomes a decree. I am wealthy, I am worthy, I am free. These are not fantasies, they are declarations of identity. And once that identity is assumed deeply and consistently, life begins to reshape itself around that new center. This is why chasing money without changing identity never lasts. You may work harder, pick up more jobs, start new ventures, but if inwardly you still identify as someone who struggles, someone who's never lucky, someone who isn't meant for wealth, then the external changes will be temporary. The outer always bends to the inner, and the inner is governed by the identity you hold at your core. Most people wait for evidence before they claim abundance. They wait until they see money in their account before they feel rich. But this is walking backward. The path of manifestation is the reverse. Feel it first, and the evidence will follow. You are not waiting for the world to confirm your belief. The world is waiting for you to believe it. This is why the state of I am is the foundation of all manifestation. It is not about acting, it is about being. When you wake up in the morning and dwell in the feeling of being already successful, already provided for, already financially free, you begin to embody a new frequency, and the people, situations, and opportunities that match that frequency must gravitate toward you. This is not luck, it is law. Do not concern yourself with how it will happen. That is not your role. Your only task is to anchor yourself in the state. Every thought, every emotion, every decision flows from that state. If your identity is, I am wealthy, then you will think, feel, and act like someone who already is. And those actions, born from truth rather than fear, will naturally lead you to the manifestations you desire. You are not fabricating wealth, you are unveiling it. You are not begging for favor, you are standing in it. You are not building a new self, you are remembering the truth of who you already are. So shift your focus. Stop trying to change the world and start by changing your self-concept. Let go of the old stories that told you you're not enough, not capable, not chosen. Replace them with new declarations. I am abundance in form. I am aligned with prosperity. I am success made manifest. Speak them. Feel them, live them. Because once your identity is aligned, the world cannot help but comply. Wealth is not a destination, it is a reflection. It is not something you earn, it is something you awaken to. And the moment you claim the state of I am rich, life begins to respond. Not tomorrow, but now. Faith is not mere hope, it is power in motion. It is the unseen force that shapes the visible world. When you speak from faith, you are not asking for something to happen, you are declaring that it already has. That is the true essence of creation. It begins not with evidence but with belief. And belief, when pure and unwavering, becomes the blueprint from which reality is drawn. Most people confuse faith with wishing. They plead, they beg, they hope that something greater will step in and rescue them from their situation. But true faith does not beg. It knows. It stands quietly in the conviction that what is desired is already done. There is no desperation in faith. There is no anxiety. There is only a deep and steady certainty that says, it is finished. This is where the power of your words comes in. When you say I am, you are not just speaking, you are initiating a chain reaction in the unseen. But it matters where those words come from. If they come from doubt, they fall flat. If they come from lack, they bounce back empty. But if they are spoken from the inner sanctuary of belief, the moment you declare them, creation begins. It may not appear instantly in form, but in the invisible realm, the wheels are already turning. Creation and invisible realm are complete. The path is already being carved. The substance is already forming. Faith does not need to see to believe. It believes, and therefore it sees. That is the difference between the one who manifests and the one who waits. The manifester walks by inner sight. The doubter waits for confirmation. But confirmation always comes after belief, not before. This is why people with unshakable faith appear magnetic. They do not chase, they attract. Their inner world is so aligned with their desired outcome that the outer world can't help but mirror it. They speak with calm assurance. They walk with peace. They move through the world as if everything they desire is already theirs, because in their mind, it is. When you stand in faith, you collapse time. What seems far away draws near. What seemed impossible becomes ordinary. The how, the when, the through whom, it no longer matters. Those details are handled by a higher intelligence, one that responds to your inner conviction. Your only job is to believe, to persist in the assumption that your desire is already a fact. This is not self-delusion, it is self-creation. The world you experience is only a reflection of your dominant belief. If your faith is strong, so too will be the results. If your belief is shaky, your life will mirror that confusion. So strengthen your inner certainty. Speak the two words I am, not from fear or need, but from the deep knowing that the moment you affirm, you have already received. Faith is not passive, it is the most dynamic, creative force in the universe. It reshapes the invisible, it bends reality, it lifts mountains not by effort but by conviction. And when you align your words with that force, you become a creator. Not a seeker, not a beggar, but a deliberate, conscious creator. Speak with faith, live in faith, and watch as the unseen responds to your unwavering vision. There is a sacred moment in the process of creation, a moment so subtle that most overlook it. It is the moment after you have declared your desire and felt its reality within you. It is the moment when your part is complete. That moment demands a new kind of power, the power to let go. To detach is not to abandon your desire, it is to rest in the quiet confidence that what you've claimed is already yours. Most people err in thinking that constant mental effort, obsessive visualizing, or chasing signs will speed up their manifestation. But in truth, it is in the release that the manifestation flows. When you plant a seed in the earth, you do not dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust that the unseen is at work. So too must you trust the seed you've planted in consciousness. The moment you say, "I am," and feel it as truth, something shifts. A new timeline is activated. Reality has no choice but to begin rearranging to match your new state. The creation is finished. Not in the distant future, not someday, but in the moment of assumption. Your task is not to make it happen, but to walk in the knowing that it has happened. Detachment is not indifference. It is faith in action. It is the deep rest of someone who knows they are already answered. It is the attitude of one who walks away from the prayer mat knowing their request has been received, knowing that it is already being fulfilled in the unseen. When you continue to worry, question, or obsess over when or how it will come, you are unknowingly pushing it away. You are signaling to the universe that you do not yet believe it is done, and life will mirror that uncertainty. To truly detach is to rise into the state of fulfillment. To feel now how you would feel then. To act from the knowing, not the needing. If wealth is your desire, walk like one who is wealthy. If love is your desire, feel now the warmth and safety of being loved. If freedom is what you seek, move through life as if no chains ever existed. Let your internal state carry the signature of completion. The outer world will follow. When you detach, you are not delaying your dream, you are allowing it. You are stepping out of the way. You are giving space for the invisible forces to weave the details in perfect timing and form. This is why some achieve great things with little effort, while others strive for years with no result. The former understands the secret. Feel it real, then let it go. Trust that what is yours cannot miss you. Know that once creation is finished in the mind, it must unfold in the world. So be still, rest in fulfillment. Resist the urge to chase or question. You are not chasing what is yours, you are aligning with it. You are becoming the version of yourself who already lives it. And as you dwell in that state, your world quietly adjusts. Let go, not in fear, but in faith. Walk forward, not with striving, but with assurance. Creation is finished. Now, simply receive. Everything begins within. The wealth you seek, the success you desire, the freedom you long for, it all begins with a shift in consciousness. You do not manifest through effort alone, but through identity, belief, and alignment. Your words are not just sounds, they are sacred instruments of creation. When spoken with faith and conviction, they shape the unseen into form. Declare your desire, assume the state, speak it into being, then detach, knowing that what you have claimed is already yours. This is the divine process. Consciousness creates currency. Repetition forms reality. Identity precedes wealth. Faith activates creation, and detachment allows it to unfold. You are not becoming, you are. When you live from this truth, the world bends to meet your inner conviction, not by accident, but by law. So rise today in the fullness of who you already are. Speak with power, believe with certainty, and walk forward, not to earn it, but to meet what has always been waiting for you. Thank you for listening. May you remember your power, honor your words, and live in the fulfillment of your own spoken truth.
My friend, tonight I want you to consider something radically simple, yet profoundly transformative. Act as if you are a magnet to miracles. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, in this very moment, embody the truth that miracles are not distant, miraculous only in the sense that they appear rare, but rather they are your natural birthright, flowing to you as easily as breath enters the lungs. When you grasp this, not with the intellect alone, but with the feeling in the depth of your being, your world will reshape itself to match the frequency of your assumption. You see, nothing comes into your world uninvited. Everything, every circumstance, every person, every seeming chance encounter is drawn by the arrangement of your inner world. You are not a passive observer. You are the operant power. You are not subject to fate, nor to the whims of time. You are subject only to your imagination and the beliefs you hold within it. And so, to act as if you are a magnet to miracles is not a plea for some supernatural exception. It is a command issued from the depths of your consciousness that the miraculous is ordinary in your world. Let us understand the word miracle. Most think of a miracle as an event that defies logic, defies probability, defies explanation. But I say to you, miracles are not the suspension of natural laws. They are the demonstration of higher laws. The laws of imagination, the laws of assumption, the laws of consciousness. These laws respond not to what you say with your lips, but what you accept with your inner feeling. The outer world is forever bowing to the arrangement of your inner beliefs. Change your assumptions, and the world must reflect the change. So how, you ask, do I become this magnet to miracles? How do I act as if the miraculous is mine? I tell you now, you must become internally what you seek externally. That is the beginning and the end of all manifestation. You do not wait for the outer world to confirm it, you feel it real now. You wear it like a garment. You assume the tone of the miracle fulfilled. Do not say, I want it, say, I have it. Do not beg, embody. Do not seek, assume. It is assumption that creates, not effort, not struggle, not even repetition. It is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you walk as if what you want has already been given, you align with the deeper law. For the law is always working, whether you are aware of it or not. You do not need to convince it to work in your favor, you only need to believe the right thing. If you assume lack, you will magnetize more lack. If you assume abundance, abundance will rush to meet you. The magnet is your assumption. The metal it draws is your experience. It is that simple. Now let me tell you something most people never consider. Miracles are not rare because they are difficult. They are rare because so few ever assume they are worthy of them. They look at their past and they build their future from it. But the past is dead. It has no life unless you give it your breath. The only thing alive is what you now claim to be true. Claim now that you are a magnet to miracles, and watch how quickly the world reorganizes itself around this claim. Let me ask you, have you ever noticed that when you feel deeply grateful for something, even before it happens, that it somehow rushes into your life? That is no accident. Gratitude is the highest form of assumption. It says, it is already mine, and that inner certainty, that quiet knowing, moves mountains. Gratitude is not a polite reaction, it is a creative force. When you give thanks for the unseen, you call it into the seen. When you walk with the joy of one who already possesses the miracle, you become a magnet to it. And so I urge you, begin now to live from the end. Live as though your prayer is answered. Do not look to the outside world to confirm it. Look within. Ask, how would I feel if the miracle were mine? And then feel that. Feel that until it becomes natural. Feel it until it is so familiar that you forget it wasn't always true. That is the secret. Your inner world becomes so saturated with the new state that you no longer need to reach for it. You simply rest in it. Many believe they must fix something first. They say, but I need to heal this before I can have that. I must become worthy. I must resolve the past. I say to you, none of that is required. The moment you assume a new state, all things necessary for its fulfillment begin to arrange themselves. Your only job is to stay faithful to the state, not to fix yourself, not to prove yourself, just to assume the truth of the new reality. This is not about pretending, this is about creating. Pretending is shallow, it knows it is not real, but assumption is deep, it feels it real. The mind may argue, but the feeling is the language of the deeper self. The subconscious does not respond to logic, it responds to feeling. It accepts what you feel to be true, regardless of facts, regardless of appearances, regardless of what your senses say. So you must feel now what you once postponed to the future. What you call the future is nothing more than a delayed reflection of your present state. All time is now. There is only one moment. And it is now. In this eternal now, you are either magnetizing miracles or repelling them, not by effort, but by state. So change your state. Assume the feeling of the miracle fulfilled, and stay there. Live there. Move through the world as one who already possesses the treasure. If you want love, be the one who is already loved. If you want success, be the one who has already succeeded. If you want healing, walk in the vibration of wholeness. The world cannot help but conform to the self-concept you inhabit. It is law. Do not ask if it is working. Do not dig up the seed. Do not worry how. The how is not your concern. Your concern is the what, the state, the assumption. Leave the bridge of incidents to the wisdom of the higher self. It knows the way. It needs no help from the ego. I once knew a woman who had suffered for years, always asking, praying, pleading. One day, she changed nothing in her outer world, but she changed her self-concept. She said, I am no longer the one who hopes for miracles, I am the one miracles serve. And from that moment, the world responded. Opportunities, resources, love, everything began to show up because she had changed her magnetic field. The world did not change first. She did. And because she did, the world had to follow. You are always assuming something. You are always embodying a state. Most do it unconsciously. They assume failure. They assume disappointment. They assume delay. And so they become magnets to those things. But you can choose. You can consciously assume the miraculous. You can enter the feeling of the thing desired and remain there. That is the creative act. That is the secret all the mystics knew and all the prophets spoke of in parables. That the kingdom is within. That what you seek is already yours. If you would only believe. Stop waiting for permission. Stop asking if you are allowed to be blessed. You are the source. You are the cause. You are the operant power. The only thing that separates you from the miraculous is your belief that it is separate. But it is not separate. It is here. It is now. It is waiting only for your assumption. I say to you, do not struggle anymore. Do not strive. Rest in the knowing that your inner state is the true magnet. Act as if you are a magnet to miracles, not in arrogance, but in divine confidence. Walk into every room as though heaven itself walks with you. Speak as though your word cannot return void. Think as though every thought is a prayer. Feel as though your feeling is a prophecy. Because it is. You are the living expression of the God who imagined you. There is no power outside of you that overrides your belief. Nothing is denied to you, except that which you deny yourself through disbelief. Believe now. Assume now. Rehearse the joy. Rehearse the gratitude. Rehearse the ecstasy of answered prayer, until it is so real within you, that the outer world cannot help but bow to your inner conviction. This is not theory. This is not a hopeful philosophy. This is law. It works always. It does not discriminate. It does not choose favorites. It reflects your state with mathematical precision. So become the state. Become the miracle. Not one day but now. I leave you with this truth. Your imagination is not a passive fantasy. It is the divine creative force. Use it. Do not let it run wild in worry and fear. Discipline it. Direct it. Occupy the state that aligns with your desire, and do not waver. Act as if the miracle is yours, and it must become yours. You are not waiting on God. God is waiting on your assumption. Believe now, and you shall see the glory of the Lord in your life. You are the magnet. You are the miracle.
You are the source, and you are infinitely worthy. So assume your power, and watch the miraculous flow to you, through you, and as you. When you rise in the morning, do not ask what will happen today, decide what must happen. Declare within yourself, today, I magnetize all that is good, all that is joyful, all that is aligned with my highest self. Let your first thought not be of reaction, but of creation. The day does not act upon you, you act upon the day. From the moment your eyes open, you set the tone, the frequency, the magnetic field of your reality. You are not a product of chance. You are a product of assumption, sustained and intensified through feeling. If you want the miraculous, you must first cease worshipping the mundane. You must detach from appearances, because appearances are only past assumptions congealed into form. They are echoes, not prophecies. Do not let your senses fool you into believing that what you see now is all there is. No, what you see now is just the residue of what you once believed. The moment you shift your assumption, a new world begins forming invisibly. And though the eyes may not see it yet, the soul knows it is done. It is finished. The harvest must follow the seed, and you are planting seeds every moment you feel. This is why I urge you to be vigilant with your imagination, for it is always at work. Whether idle or focused, it is forming your future. The question is, are you imagining deliberately or by default? Are you accepting the role of victim or creator? Are you begging life or directing it? To be a magnet to miracles is not about doing more, but imagining better. Not about fighting circumstances, but ignoring them in favor of higher vision. What you ignore dies. What you attend to lives. Withdraw your attention from the unwanted and give it fully to the ideal. Let your inner eye feast on what is beautiful, true, noble, and already yours in imagination. The moment you accept a new identity in consciousness, you will find the world rearranging itself to support that version of you. People you've never met will feel compelled to assist you. Doors you didn't knock on will swing open. Coincidences will conspire in your favor. Why? Because consciousness is the only reality. Your world is a mirror. It reflects not what you want, but what you are. And when you are the embodiment of the miraculous, miracles become your default setting. There is no limit to what you can receive once you align with the feeling of already having it. Imagination is not limited by logic. It does not care for the possible or the probable. It moves in the realm of certainty. And you, when you live in imagination, live as God. You are not using the law. You are the law. You are not hoping for the miracle. You are generating it through the power of feeling. So go into the silence often. Withdraw from the world of facts and sink deep into the world of vision. In that silence, claim the miracle. Feel its presence. Embrace it emotionally until it is more real to you than anything your eyes can see.
Some will ask, but what if I don't feel it real? What if it feels like I'm pretending? To them I say, persist, for even the shallowest repetition, when saturated with emotion, will one day break through. Do not be discouraged by a lack of immediate evidence. The seed does not sprout the moment it touches soil, but it is working, it is growing, it is growing in silence. And so too, your assumption is taking root. Persist in the feeling, return to it again and again. Rehearse the scene of the wish fulfilled. Refuse to dwell on the undesired. Give all of your inner attention to the reality you choose, and none to the one you reject. You do not need to convince anyone else. Your imagination is sovereign. It needs no outside validation. Do not explain your vision to those who cannot see it. Do not seek consensus. That which is born of spirit requires no permission. The inner state alone is the cause. And once you assume it and remain loyal to it, all else will follow. Let your speech be filled with the tone of completion. Let your words be pregnant with the certainty of fulfillment. Say not, one day I'll have it, but I am it now. Speak not of becoming, but of being. For in being, all things are done. Time collapses. Circumstance bends. The world reshapes itself to match the mold of your assumption. And when doubt arises, and it will, do not resist it. Simply return to your chosen state. Say to yourself, this too shall pass, for it has no power unless I grant it. Remember, the world is not happening to you. It is happening through you. All doubt is simply the invitation to reaffirm your faith, to choose again, to believe again, to feel again. Do not fight the appearance of contradiction. Transcend it through inner knowing. Every miracle that has ever occurred in your life, every unexpected blessing, every moment of grace, it did not come from outside of you. It came from a change within you, even if you were unaware of it at the time. Perhaps you relaxed your resistance, even briefly. Perhaps you felt hope again, or joy or gratitude. And in that moment, the magnetic field changed. You became a match to the very thing you thought you were chasing. That is why the path to miracles is effortless. Not because it requires no action, but because it requires no struggle. The action that flows from a state of fulfilled desire is smooth, inspired, guided. You will know what to do, where to go, what to say. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time. But it will not be through force. It will be through alignment. So stop asking how it will come. Stop watching the clock. Stop measuring progress with the eyes of the flesh. Measure only by the fullness of your inner conviction. Ask not, what do I do, but who am I being? For your beingness is the cause, and everything else is effect. When you are being the miracle, miracles must find you. They are drawn to you, not by effort, but by resonance. The world may call it coincidence. The world may call it luck. But you will know the truth. You will know that what appears sudden was long prepared in imagination. What appears spontaneous was long held in feeling. The invisible precedes the visible. The seed precedes the bloom. The inner knowing precedes the outer event. You do not need to earn this power. You already have it. You only need to remember. The world will tell you to be realistic. I say be miraculous. The world will tell you to wait your turn. I say claim it now. The world will say you must struggle and strive and sacrifice. I say simply assume and feel. And in that feeling, in that sacred inner movement, the whole universe is reshaped. Do not think small. Do not limit the dream. Imagination has no ceiling. It is bound only by your belief. And belief is a choice. You can choose now to believe something better, something bigger, something more beautiful. And as you do, you become magnetic to it. Your life becomes a living proof of divine law. You become the evidence that miracles are not exceptions. They are expressions of inner law. You become the example that others look to and wonder, how did it happen? And your answer will not be a technique or a ritual, but a state, a simple inner knowing. I believed it, and I became it. You will find that people begin to respond to you differently, not because you've changed your words, not because you've altered your appearance, but because your inner frequency has shifted. The energy of someone who knows that they are magnetic to miracles is unmistakable. It is calm, assured, radiant. It carries no tension, no need to convince, no desperation to prove. It simply is. And in that beingness, everything begins to reorganize. Life becomes light. Circumstances soften. The air itself seems charged with possibility. And the things you once chased now chase you, not because you sought them, but because you assumed they were already yours. When you walk through the world with that inner assurance, the miraculous becomes mundane, yet never boring. You'll wake up to find that what once seemed extraordinary now flows through you daily. You will laugh at how simple it always was. The things you prayed for, worried over, doubted, they arrive quietly, as if they had never been absent. Not because you finally worked hard enough, but because you finally stopped contradicting your desire with disbelief. You stopped rehearsing lack. You stopped affirming delay, and you began instead to embody the end. You must learn to dwell in the end. That is where creation is finished. That is where fulfillment already lives. That is where the miracle is not a hope, but a memory. You remember it as if it already happened, because in imagination, it has. And if it has an imagination, then it must inform. Imagination is not a lesser reality. It is the source. It is the womb of all creation. And when you know this, really know it, you no longer treat it as fantasy. You treat it as law. There will come a time when you will no longer need to visualize constantly, no longer need to script or affirm tirelessly, because you will have entered the state so completely that it becomes your natural dwelling place. It becomes your home in consciousness. And from that home, you will operate without effort. You will speak casually of things before they come to pass. And others will marvel when your words turn into facts. But you will not marvel. You will know that it was always done within. That nothing changed outside,
until it changed within. Though the world may offer resistance, though facts may momentarily contradict your claim, you will stand unmoved. You will learn to ignore appearances, not from stubborn denial, but from spiritual intelligence. You will see facts as temporary, and truth as eternal. And truth, my friend, is simply what you accept and sustain in imagination. There is no higher truth. There is no more authoritative voice than your own inner assumption. The world bows to it, whether you know it or not. You will become sensitive to the states you inhabit. You will know when you have slipped into doubt, not by what you see outside, but by what you feel inside. You'll sense the heaviness of disbelief, the tension of efforting, the subtle anxiety of needing. And when you notice it, you will not condemn yourself. You will simply return. Return to the state of the miracle fulfilled. Return to the joy of having. Return to the rest that comes with knowing it is already done. It will become natural to revise your inner state throughout the day, not as a chore, but as a privilege. You will catch yourself and smile, knowing that a simple shift in feeling changes everything. That with a breath, a pause, a single moment of remembrance, you can realign with the miraculous. You are always one feeling away, one assumption away, one act of faith away. This act of faith is not outward, it is inward. It is the act of being, of embodying, of assuming the end and letting go. And you will no longer argue with delay. You will see it not as punishment, but as preparation. You will trust that what is yours is coming, not because you chase it, but because you called it. You called it in imagination. You called it with feeling, and it must obey. For the world is but a shadow cast by your inner light. And when that light burns with the flame of conviction, there is nothing that can prevent its expression. Even in moments of challenge, you will remember, this too is responding to my state. You will no longer take events at face value. You will interpret them through the lens of assumption. You will ask, what must I be believing for this to appear? And then you will choose again, not with judgment, but with clarity. You will become the master of your states. You will recognize each one not as good or bad, but as creative. And when you no longer fear any state, you are free. You will begin to love your imagination, not as a tool, but as a sacred temple. You will visit it not to escape life, but to author it, to paint it in colors of your choosing, to script scenes that move you, stir you, electrify you. You will no longer wait for life to give you the feeling. You will give yourself the feeling, and let life follow. You will initiate joy. You will summon peace. You will ignite love, and in doing so you will become a lighthouse, calling miracles to your shore, with the silent signal of your state. And yes, there will be days when it feels like nothing is changing. But do not be fooled. Do not break the state. Do not check for signs, like one digging up a seed to see if it is sprouting. Remain faithful. Your assumption is growing roots beneath the surface. What is true in imagination must eventually bloom into form. But the moment you shift back into doubt, into the old self, you delay the harvest. So stay. Stay in the new identity. Stay in the new assumption. Let it become your new natural. Let it be the air you breathe. Over time, something beautiful happens. You stop thinking of miracles as occasional, and start seeing them as normal. You stop praying from desperation, and begin creating from joy. You stop asking if it's working, and begin living as though it already has. You no longer look to the mirror of life for confirmation. You look to the feeling within, and that feeling becomes your compass, your source, your truth. You become unshakable, not because nothing ever goes wrong, but because you no longer give power to what appears wrong. You redefine reality from the inside out. And so I leave you with this. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle. The power is not somewhere outside of you, hiding in some distant future, or locked in the hands of fate. It is here, now alive within you, responding to every assumption you dare to hold as true. The world bends to the shape of your inner conviction. Do not seek change, become the change. Do not chase the outcome, embody the state. Act as if you are a magnet to miracles, because you are. Feel it before it appears. Know it before it arrives. Trust it before you see it. And walk in the world not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. You are the operant power, the dreamer in whom all things are possible. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and let the universe reveal what you've already claimed within. Live from the end, and the end will live through you.
To begin with, let us pause for a moment and reflect upon the one truth that has the power to unlock every door, move every mountain, and open the floodgates of all the blessings you could ever imagine. You are already blessed with everything. In this very moment, as you stand in the middle of the vastness of the universe, everything that you could ever desire is already yours, waiting for you to claim it. But this is not something that is granted to you from the outside world. No, my friend, it is something that you must acknowledge within yourself. Because as Neville Goddard taught us, the world is a reflection of your internal state. It is your imagination that is the key to this kingdom, and it is in your imagination that the blessings you desire are waiting for you to claim them. I urge you to act as if you are blessed with everything, not tomorrow, not in the future, but now, right here, right now, in this present moment. Because you see, the secret to manifesting the life you desire is not to wait for the external circumstances to change. It is not about waiting for the perfect moment or the right opportunity. It is about acting as if everything is already in place, as if you are already in possession of every blessing you could ever wish for. Let's go deeper into this truth. We are all aware of the power of thought. We know that our thoughts shape our world, but most people do not understand just how deeply their thoughts influence every single aspect of their lives. You see, your thoughts are not just fleeting things. They are not just ideas that come and go. Your thoughts are the very building blocks of your reality. The moment you think a thought, it begins to shape your world in ways you may not even realize. But it does not stop there. What you think, what you feel, and most importantly, how you act, are all intricately connected. They form a powerful triad that determines the outcome of your life. And so, if you want to transform your life and manifest the blessings that you desire, you must begin by acting as if you already have everything you desire. Think about this for a moment. If you truly believed that you were blessed with everything, how would you act? How would you carry yourself? How would you approach life? How would you walk into a room? How would you speak to others? What would your energy be like? Imagine that you were already a millionaire, a celebrity, a successful entrepreneur, or the happiest person on earth. How would that version of you move through the world? This is what Neville Goddard meant when he said, "Live as though you are already that which you want to be." The power of assumption is the secret that unlocks this transformation. The law of assumption states that whatever you assume to be true, whether it be a reality or not, becomes your reality. And so, if you assume that you are blessed with everything you desire, if you truly believe that you already possess all the wealth, success, love, health, and happiness you could ever wish for, the world must yield to that assumption. The universe does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. What you feel to be true within yourself will reflect outwardly, and the world will mirror back to you that very thing. The question then is, how do you begin to act as if you are blessed with everything? First, you must realize that everything begins in the mind. Your mind is the most powerful tool you possess. It is the first place you must go to create the life you desire. But what many do not understand is that the power of your mind is not only in your conscious thoughts. No, the true power lies in your subconscious. The subconscious mind is the seat of all belief and assumption, and it operates in a way that is entirely independent of your conscious thoughts. Your conscious mind may be filled with doubts and fears, but your subconscious mind is infinitely more powerful. It is the part of you that holds the key to your imagination, and it is where the assumption of being blessed with everything must take root. In order to act as if you are blessed with everything, you must first plant the seed of this assumption in your subconscious mind. And how do you do this? Through feeling. Your feelings are the gateway to your subconscious mind. The more vividly you can feel that you are already blessed, the more quickly your subconscious will accept this assumption as true. But it is not enough to simply feel blessed. You must feel it deeply and with conviction. You must allow that feeling to permeate every fiber of your being. You must embody the energy of someone who is already living the life they desire. But the question arises, how do you maintain that feeling of being blessed with everything, especially when your external reality may not yet reflect that truth? This is where the real work lies. You see, The world will not immediately change to reflect your new assumption. It may seem as though nothing is happening, and this can be a difficult thing to face. But remember, the external world is always a reflection of your inner state. Just as a seed must first be planted in the soil before it can sprout, so too must your assumptions be planted in your subconscious mind before they begin to manifest in your life. You must continue to act as if you are blessed with everything, even when the evidence of it is not yet visible. This is where faith comes in. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is the belief that your assumption is true, even when your senses are telling you otherwise. Faith is the conviction that your desire has already been fulfilled, and it is the unwavering trust that what you are imagining is already on its way to you. This is why Neville Goddard emphasized the importance of persistence in your assumption. You must persist in your assumption of being blessed with everything, even when it seems that nothing is changing. You must hold steadfast to the belief that your blessings are already here and that they are simply waiting for you to recognize them. Now let's take this a step further. The act of assuming that you are blessed with everything is not just about thinking positively or imagining things. It is about embodying the very essence of the blessings you desire. It is about aligning yourself with the vibration of abundance, success, and joy. You must begin to live as if you are already in possession of everything you desire. This means that every decision you make, every action you take, every word you speak must reflect the assumption that you are already blessed. If you want to manifest wealth, then live as if you already have it. If you want to manifest love, then act as if you are already loved. If you want to manifest health, then treat your body as if it is already in perfect health. This may seem difficult at first, especially if your external reality does not yet reflect your assumption. But the key is to begin small. Start with little things. For example, if you are assuming that you are wealthy, then begin to make decisions as a wealthy person would. Spend your money wisely, invest in your future, and surround yourself with things that remind you of your wealth. If you are assuming that you are healthy, then begin to treat your body with care and respect, just as someone who is in perfect health would. You must act as if your assumption is already true, because when you do, you begin to align your actions with the reality you are creating. As you continue to act as if you are blessed with everything, you will begin to notice small changes in your life. You will start to see evidence of your assumptions in the world around you. Perhaps a small unexpected gift will come your way, or you will receive a compliment from someone who admires you. Maybe you will find that opportunities begin to present themselves to you with ease. These are all signs that your assumption is beginning to take root in your subconscious mind and is beginning to manifest in your life. But remember, the process does not stop there. As you continue to act as if you are blessed with everything, you must also remain open to receiving these blessings. Often people block their blessings by not being receptive to the good that is coming their way. They may feel undeserving or unworthy of the things they desire, and so they inadvertently push them away. But when you act as if you are blessed with everything, you must also be willing to accept the blessings that come to you, knowing that you deserve them. So my friend, I challenge you today to take this message to heart. Act as if you are blessed with everything. Act as if you already have everything you desire. And in doing so, you will transform your world. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions are all aligned with the assumption that everything you could ever want is already yours. And as you persist in this assumption, you will begin to see the universe rearrange itself in your favor, bringing to you all the blessings you could ever imagine. As you continue to embody the assumption that you are blessed with everything, you must understand that this state of being goes beyond mere thought. It is not just about imagining and hoping. It is about truly becoming the version of yourself who already possesses every blessing you desire. When you act as if you are already blessed, you begin to operate from a place of certainty, not doubt. Certainty is the key that unlocks the floodgates of the universe. When you are certain that your desires are already fulfilled, the universe in its infinite wisdom has no choice but to deliver. It is easy to become frustrated or discouraged when external circumstances seem to defy your assumptions. However, the journey toward manifesting your desires requires patience, and above all, trust in the process. Trust that everything is unfolding according to divine law,
and that the visible world will eventually conform to the invisible thoughts and assumptions you have planted within your mind. It may not happen overnight, but it is happening nonetheless. Every thought, every feeling, every action you take that aligns with your assumption moves you closer to the manifestation of your desires. Now let us talk about the importance of detachment. Often people become so fixated on the outcome that they lose sight of the fact that manifestation is not about forcing something to happen, but about allowing it to unfold. Detachment is not about indifference, it is about letting go of the need to control the how, when, and where. When you are attached to the outcome, you are in essence doubting the process. You are questioning whether what you desire is truly yours, and in doing so you are blocking the flow of your blessings. But when you act as if everything is already in your possession, there is no need for attachment because you are already living as if it is. There is no longing, no yearning, because you already know that it is yours. The act of detaching from the outcome also means allowing yourself to enjoy the present moment, without constantly looking for signs of manifestation. If you are living in the assumption that you are blessed, then you can relax and enjoy life, knowing that everything is coming to you. There is no need to check your bank account every day or constantly ask, is this it? When something good happens, the blessing is already yours and it will reveal itself at the perfect time. Just as a seed grows in silence beneath the earth, so too will your manifestations grow in their own time. And when the moment is right, they will emerge into your reality. You must remember that the blessings you seek are not just material or external. The greatest blessings are internal, and they begin with peace, joy, and fulfillment. When you act as if you are blessed, you begin to cultivate an inner state of gratitude and contentment. This inner state becomes the foundation upon which all external manifestations are built. If you are constantly seeking happiness or fulfillment from external sources, you will never truly experience the fullness of life. True abundance begins within, and when you cultivate an inner state of being blessed, the external world must align with that inner reality.
You may wonder, how do I maintain this state of being blessed in the face of challenges and setbacks? How do I keep my faith alive when things do not appear to be going my way? The answer is simple. You must remain unwavering in your assumption. Challenges are not a sign that you are doing something wrong. They are simply the universe's way of revealing areas where you need to strengthen your belief. Every challenge is an opportunity to reaffirm your assumption that you are blessed with everything. When you are faced with adversity, instead of seeing it as a setback, see it as proof that you are on the right path. You are being tested to see if you will persist in your assumption. And if you do, you will see how quickly the universe will shift in your favor. This is the power of persistence. When you persist in the assumption that you are blessed, regardless of the external circumstances, you send a clear message to the universe that you are certain, unwavering, and resolute in your belief. And just like a magnet, your assumption will draw to you everything you need to manifest your desires. This is the law of attraction in its purest form. You attract to yourself whatever you believe you are worthy of receiving. If you believe that you are blessed, you will find blessings in every corner of your life, no matter where you look. As you continue to act as if you are blessed with everything, you will begin to notice a shift in your perspective. You will no longer be focused on what you lack or what is missing from your life. Instead, your attention will shift to the abundance that already exists within and around you. You will begin to see the miracles that are unfolding in your life every day, even in the smallest of things. Whether it is the kindness of a stranger, the beauty of a sunset, or the love of a friend, these are all signs that you are in alignment with the blessings you have assumed to be yours. It is in these moments that you will realize that you are not waiting for something to change in your life. Rather, you are simply awakening to the blessings that have always been there. Your entire reality is shifting, and you are the creator of that shift. You have the power to choose how you perceive the world, and when you act as if you are already blessed, the world will reflect that assumption back to you. You will begin to see evidence of your blessings everywhere, and your life will become a living testament to the power of the law of assumption. At this point, you may begin to wonder if there is ever a moment when you can say, I have arrived. The truth is, the journey of manifesting your desires is never truly over. There is always more to create, more to experience, and more to give. When you act as if you are blessed with everything, you enter into a state of constant flow, a flow of abundance, love, success, and joy. This flow does not have an end. It is infinite. As you continue to live from the assumption that you are blessed, you will find that life becomes a continuous unfolding of blessings, one after another. As you walk this path, remember that it is not about achieving perfection or having everything fall into place exactly as you envision it. It is about living with the faith that you are already blessed, regardless of external circumstances. It is about knowing that every experience, every challenge, every moment is part of the greater plan, and that you are exactly where you need to be. Trust that everything is always working out for you, even when it does not appear to be so in the moment. And so, I encourage you to begin today. Begin to act as if you are blessed with everything. Live as if you are already the person you want to be, and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. The universe is waiting for you to claim your blessings, and when you do, everything you have ever dreamed of will flow effortlessly into your life. You are not waiting for the world to change. The world is waiting for you to change. Act as if you are blessed with everything, and watch as the entire universe bends to your will, bringing you every blessing you have assumed to be yours. As you continue to embody the assumption that you are blessed with everything, remember that this is not a one-time act, but a continual process. Every day, every hour, every moment you must maintain the assumption that you are already in possession of everything you desire. It is like a muscle that must be exercised regularly. And with each passing day, the more you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with this assumption, the stronger it becomes. The key is consistency. You cannot allow your external circumstances to dictate your internal state. If you look at the world around you and allow it to sway your belief, you are falling into the trap of the senses. The senses will always show you what appears to be true, but what appears to be true is not the reality you are creating. Your reality is shaped by your inner assumptions, not by what is visible to the naked eye. When you act as if you are blessed with everything, you are not waiting for your circumstances to improve before you feel blessed. No, you are feeling blessed now, in this very moment, regardless of what is happening around you. The more you feel blessed, the more the universe is compelled to bring you circumstances that match that feeling. You are the creator of your reality, and the more you align with the assumption that you are already blessed, the more blessings will flow into your life. This also means letting go of any fear or anxiety about the future. Too often people live in a state of worry about what may or may not happen. They feel that they are not yet blessed, and so they act from a place of lack, but this, my friend, only perpetuates the cycle of lack. When you act as if you are blessed with everything, you trust that everything you need will come to you in perfect timing. You let go of the need to control how things will unfold, and instead you relax into the knowing that all is well. The universe, in its infinite intelligence, has a way of delivering everything you desire, sometimes in ways you could never have imagined. By continuing to act as if you are blessed, you also begin to raise your vibration. Blessings are not just material objects or experiences, they are energies. When you align yourself with the energy of being blessed, you naturally attract more of that energy into your life. This is why you will begin to notice that as you persist in the assumption that you are blessed with everything, your life becomes filled with joy, peace, and fulfillment. You may begin to find yourself in situations that seem too good to be true, surrounded by people who uplift and support you, and presented with opportunities that you had never expected. This is the natural consequence of living in alignment with the assumption that you are blessed. But there will be times, as you walk this path, when doubts and fears will creep in. The world may try to tell you that you are not blessed, that you are not enough, or that you are unworthy of the life you desire. But in those moments you must stand firm in your assumption. Doubt is the enemy of creation, and the moment you give in to doubt, you begin to shift your focus away from the assumption that you are already blessed. Remember, your imagination is the only reality that matters, and when you persist in the assumption that you are blessed with everything, you are tuning your imagination to a frequency that attracts all the good you desire. This is where the magic happens, when you no longer seek validation from the outside world, but instead validate your own assumption. You must be willing to trust yourself, your inner vision, and the process, no matter what your senses may tell you. The more you do this,
the more you will feel the shift within you. You will begin to sense the powerful force of creation moving through you, and the blessings you have assumed to be yours will begin to materialize. The shift may be subtle at first, but over time you will see the undeniable evidence of your inner assumption reflected in the outer world. But it is not just about material or tangible blessings. When you act as if you are blessed, you also start to recognize the deeper blessings in your life. The small moments of peace, the moments of joy, the feeling of gratitude that arises in your heart when you realize just how much you already have. These blessings are just as important as the material ones, if not more so, because they cultivate a deeper sense of fulfillment. True wealth is not just about money or possessions. It is about a state of being, one of contentment, peace and joy. As you continue to walk this path, remember that the journey itself is a blessing. Every step you take, every breath you take, is an opportunity to deepen your understanding of your own power and potential. When you act as if you are blessed with everything, you begin to see that the journey toward your desires is not a struggle but a dance with the universe. Everything falls into place effortlessly because you are no longer striving, but simply allowing. The moment you realize that you are blessed with everything is the moment your life shifts permanently. It is a realization that all is already well, and that everything you desire is already on its way to you. And this realization does not just change your life in one grand moment, it changes you forever. You become the person who no longer waits for blessings to come from the outside, but the person who knows that all blessings flow from within. Acting as if you are blessed with everything is not a fleeting thought or a temporary affirmation. It is a way of living. It is a commitment to yourself and to the universe that you are worthy of all the blessings that life has to offer, and that you are ready to receive them. This is the power of living in the assumption that you are already blessed. When you live from this place, everything in your life becomes a reflection of that truth. It is this simple truth that will transform your life. You are blessed with everything, and the more you act as if you are, the more the universe will show you that it is true. The power of assumption is not just about what you want, it is about who you choose to be. You are already everything you desire, and when you embody that truth, everything you want will manifest effortlessly. You are already blessed with everything, and that is the most powerful truth you can live by. In conclusion, the message is clear and unshakable. You are already blessed with everything. The moment you fully accept and live from this truth, your reality will transform in ways you could never have imagined. The external world will respond to your inner assumptions and reflect the blessings that you have chosen to embody. Understand this: you are not waiting for something to change in the world. The change begins with you. Your assumptions, your thoughts, and your beliefs are the blueprint that shapes the life you live. When you act as if you are already blessed, you are aligning with the infinite power within you, the power of creation, the power of the universe, the power of your imagination. Every moment is an opportunity to affirm this truth, to step into the life you desire, and to live from the assumption that you already have everything you need. The universe is always working in your favor, and when you act as if you are blessed, everything you desire will be drawn to you effortlessly. Remember, the path is not about striving, it is about being the person who already has everything. When you live from this place, there is no room for doubt or fear, because you know that you are already whole, already complete, already blessed. So go forward with certainty and conviction, knowing that everything you have ever desired is already yours. Live as if you are blessed with everything, and watch as the world bends to reflect the abundance you have claimed. You are the creator of your reality, and in the end you will realize that the greatest blessing was always within you. The key is to act as if you already have it, because in truth you do.
Do nothing and get everything. It sounds like a paradox to the logical mind, but it is the truth of spiritual law. You've been taught that effort brings reward, that toil brings fruit, that the harder you push, the more you get. But in the spiritual realm, the opposite is often true. When you align with the infinite within you, when you rest in the assumption that your desire is already yours, when you sleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, then you do nothing and everything is done for you. The secret lies not in force, but in faith. Not in striving, but in stillness. You must learn to be still and know that you are God. Not a God apart, but the very creative power of the universe individualized in you. Your imagination is the creator, and sleep is the sacred temple where imagination takes root. Night after night, you are given the opportunity to reshape your world, not through action, but through assumption. And assumption, when persisted in, hardens into fact. Let me tell you, there is no power outside of consciousness. Nothing acts independently of the state of mind in which you dwell. If your life appears chaotic, it is because your inner conversations are disordered. If your world is full of lack, it is because your internal state is one of need and not fulfillment. Change your inner world and your outer world will follow. The law is always working. Whether you believe in it or not, the law does not respond to effort, it responds to belief, to feeling, to assumption, and the most powerful way to change your assumption is through sleep. When you lay your body down to rest, the conscious mind surrenders its grip. The gatekeeper stands aside, and the subconscious, that fertile field of infinite power, becomes receptive to your seeds. Whatever impression you give it at that moment before sleep, it will take and multiply. That impression will become the pattern of your waking world. This is not fantasy, this is law. You have heard it said, as within, so without. That is not poetry, it is principle. The world is yourself pushed out. It is your mirror. And just as you do not change your reflection by scolding the mirror, you do not change your life by struggling with circumstances, you change your reflection by changing your expression. You change your world by changing your assumption. And the most effective time to do this is in that golden moment between wakefulness and sleep. Do nothing and yet receive everything. Why? Because the doing is not done by your hands, but by your mind. When you go to sleep feeling rich, even if your bank account is empty, the subconscious accepts that feeling as truth. It does not argue. It does not reason. It simply accepts and expresses. If you feel wealthy, you will become wealthy. If you feel loved, you will attract love. If you feel healthy, your body will begin to conform. The law knows no exceptions. It is impersonal, precise, and perfect. You must learn to fall asleep in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. That is the entire secret. Feel it real. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. As you lay in your bed tonight, do not think of the things you lack. Do not rehearse your fears. Do not replay the day's failures. Instead, construct a scene, just a simple scene, that would imply your desire is already a fact. Make it vivid, make it real, make it now. And repeat it in your mind until it lulls you into sleep. Let sleep overtake you, while the scene still lives in your imagination. That is the moment of conception. You do not need to work harder. You do not need to manipulate people or conditions. You do not need to beg, plead, or hustle. You need only to assume. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and sleep. That is the holy act of creation. The whole vast world is yourself pushed out, and it bends to your inner state like a shadow bends to the body. The external is always subordinate to the internal, and the internal can be shaped in the silence of your own mind. You have within you the power to call forth anything, but that power does not respond to effort, it responds to belief. It responds to stillness, it responds to the imaginal act performed in faith. When you are anxious, you block the flow. When you are desperate, you repel what you desire. But when you are calm, confident, and at rest, when you feel it real and release it to the subconscious with trust, then all things begin to rearrange themselves to reflect that inner state. Let me remind you again, you do nothing, and yet everything is done. This is not passivity. It is spiritual activity of the highest order. You are not lazy, you are faithful, you are not idle, you are intentional, you are assuming the state and allowing the universe to reflect it. That is the art of creation. That is the power that moves mountains. You were told, when you pray, believe that you have received it, and you will. Do you see the formula? Not believe that you might receive. Not believe that you'll someday get it. But believe that you have received. It is already done. And from that knowing, from that internal certainty, you fall asleep. Not hoping, but knowing. Not wanting, but having. That is the secret. That is the divine sleep meditation. The ancients called it entering the Sabbath. The Sabbath is not a day, it is a state. It is the rest that comes after creation. It is the feeling of completion. When you enter the Sabbath, you cease all mental effort. You cease all mental argument. You rest, not because you are tired, but because you know it is done. And you allow that knowing to carry you into sleep. That is when the seed is sown. That is when the magic begins. Do not underestimate the power of this practice. I have seen lives change overnight through this single act. I have seen debts vanish, relationships restored, bodies healed, all by the power of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled and sleeping in that state. It is not theory, it is experience. The moment you dare to assume, you begin to move mountains, and yet you do nothing. There is no need to force anything. The assumption, once accepted by the subconscious, will find expression. It will do all the work. It will orchestrate the right meetings, the perfect opportunities, the unforeseen windfalls. It will bring people and places and events together in the most mysterious ways. You need not know how. You need only to feel it real. Many of you try to figure it out. You worry about the details. You want to control the unfolding, but that is not your job. Your job is to define the end and rest in it. To dwell in the state until it feels like home. To sleep in the knowing that what you have imagined is already yours. That is all. The how is not your concern. The law will take care of the how. Your work is in the assumption. Night after night, practice this. Let your last thoughts before sleep be thoughts of fulfillment. Let your final emotion be one of gratitude. Not for what is coming, but for what already is. Let that be your signal to the subconscious, and do not be fooled by appearances. The world may look unchanged, but know this, once impressed, the subconscious must express. The world must conform. You may feel like nothing is happening, but I tell you, everything is happening. Beneath the surface, the seed is germinating. The tree does not sprout the moment the seed is planted, but the seed is alive, and in due time it will push through the soil and bear fruit. Your assumption is the seed. Your faith is the water. Your rest is the sunlight. And sleep is the sacred ground. Many will hear these words and dismiss them. They will say, it cannot be this simple. But truth is always simple. The greatest truths are not complicated. They are clear and direct. Assume, sleep, receive. That is the formula. That is the divine triad. That is the path to effortless manifestation. You must become as a child. Children do not doubt. They believe, they pretend. They feel real. They imagine and then act as though it were true. And what does Scripture say? Unless you become as little children, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom is your fulfilled desire. And the way to enter it is through belief, through imagination, through restful assumption. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, ask yourself, what would I feel if I already had it? How would I breathe, move, think? And then feel that. Feel it not just as a thought, but as a mood. Let that mood be the pillow on which you rest your head. Let that feeling carry you into the depths of slumber. And trust that the law is working. You are not here to struggle. You are here to create. You are not here to chase. You are here to attract. You are not here to beg. You are here to command. But that command is silent. It is internal. It is imaginative. That is the great mystery. That is the quiet power. And it is available to you now. When you finally understand that you are the operant power, that nothing happens to you but through you, then you will stop trying and start assuming. You will stop worrying and start imagining. You will stop begging and start believing. And in that state of belief, you will rest. And in that rest, you will receive. So I say to you again, do nothing and get everything. Not because you are idle, but because you are aligned. Not because you are passive, but because you are present. The universe responds not to effort, but to energy. And the energy of assumption, held in faith, released in sleep, is the most creative force in existence. The world you see is the echo of what you feel. Change your feeling, and you change the echo. Tonight, as you lay your head to sleep, feel it real. Become the version of you who already has it. Dwell in that state, and sleep. Because in that sacred sleep, your entire world will begin to change. Feel it with every fiber of your being. Not as a fleeting thought, not as a mere wish,
but as an emotional certainty that runs deep into your bones. Let your body relax under the weight of fulfilled desire. Let your heart beat with the rhythm of accomplishment. Let your breath match the peace of someone who already has everything they've asked for. This is not pretending. This is creating. The moment you feel it real, the universe begins to respond. You are not asking the world for permission. You are declaring your reality to consciousness itself. The great secret is that you are not separate from the thing you desire. You are it. You are already one with it in imagination. And imagination is the only reality. The things you see with your eyes are only shadows of that inner state. You don't wait for things to change. You change within, and the outer rearranges automatically. You are the cause, not the effect. And sleep is the bridge between what is imagined and what is manifested. If you understood just how powerful your sleep is, you would never again go to bed with thoughts of doubt or fear. You would never again entertain limitation in that sacred moment before unconsciousness. Because it is in that moment, in that space between waking and dreaming, that you pass the seed into the soil of your subconscious. And the subconscious never forgets. It never fails. It always brings forth what is planted. There is no greater technique than this. Lie down and assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Nothing more is required. No effort, no striving, only a quiet confidence that what you feel now is what will become. When you relax into the scene, when you let go of needing to know how or when, you open the door, and all things begin to flow to you, not by effort, but by the law. This law is impersonal. It does not favor one person over another. It does not require struggle, status, or sacrifice. It requires only belief. It requires only a disciplined imagination, a willingness to persist in the assumption night after night, regardless of what the senses report. Do not be swayed by what you see. Let your inner world be more real to you than anything on the outside. Because the outer world is always a reflection, it is the mirror, not the source. If you find yourself doubting, gently return to the feeling, that's all. You are not failing. You are simply learning. This is the art of conscious creation. You assume, you feel, and you rest. It is not your job to force it into being. It is your job to believe. And belief is a quiet power, most potent when the body is still and the mind is focused. Do not let your imagination wander into fear. Discipline it gently. Turn your mind again and again to the scene that implies your desire is already yours. And soon it will no longer feel like imagination. It will feel like memory. When it feels natural, when it feels familiar, it is ready to be expressed. And sleep is the doorway. So what will you imagine tonight? What dream will you let your subconscious incubate while you do nothing? Will you replay the old story, the struggle, the lack, the loneliness? Or will you write a new script? Will you imagine yourself celebrated, wealthy, healthy, joyful? Will you rest in the knowing that the universe rearranges itself to reflect your inner state? You cannot serve two masters. You cannot go to sleep in fear and expect to wake in joy. You cannot rehearse failure and expect success. You must be bold enough to assume what your senses deny. You must be faithful enough to feel it as real before it becomes fact. That is the secret. That is the magic. That is the path of least resistance and the gateway to miracles. Do not underestimate the momentum that builds when you repeat this night after night. The first time you may feel resistance. The second night you may feel doubt. But continue. Persist. Fall asleep again and again in the assumption of your fulfilled desire, and eventually it will no longer feel like a performance. It will feel like your truth. And the world must respond. Because the world is your mirror. There is nothing more sacred than this moment before sleep. It is your meeting place with God. It is where you drop the masks of the day and return to your creative power. It is where your imagination speaks the word and the word becomes flesh. This is not mythology. This is metaphysics. The law is exact, and your role is simple. Assume, feel, sleep. If you want to change your life, change the way you sleep. Do not let the day drag into the night. Let the night be a new beginning. Let sleep be a rehearsal for the life you want to live. Make your bed a temple. Let your pillow be the throne of fulfilled desire. Close your eyes not in escape, but in creation. Let your dreams be seeds, not distractions. Because in that stillness, in that surrender, all things are made new. You do not need to know how the world will change. You do not need to make it happen. You only need to go to sleep with a new vision, a new feeling, a new inner state, and the rest will unfold in ways you could never predict. The subconscious has means you know not of. It can open doors where there were only walls. It can part the sea of circumstance, but only when you trust it, only when you feel the end. What would it feel like to be the person who already has the life you want? That is the question. Ask it every night, and let the answer be your lullaby. Let the feeling of that answer be the last thing you carry into your sleep, because that feeling is a command. That assumption is a decree, and your subconscious is always listening. You must begin to take your inner world seriously, more seriously than anything on the outside, because the inner creates the outer. There is no exception. What you feel dominantly, you live. What you imagine persistently, you become. It is not up to someone else. It is not dependent on time or effort. It is all within you now. The beauty of it all is that you do not have to fight for it. You do not have to beg. You do not have to struggle. You only need to rest. Not rest in defeat, but rest in victory. Not sleep in confusion, but sleep in clarity. You fall asleep in the answer, and the question disappears. You fall asleep in the feeling, and the fact appears. So tonight, and every night, do this one thing. Choose your desire, assume it is done, feel it with conviction, and surrender it to sleep. Let go of the need to make it happen. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the how. Simply fall asleep knowing that what you imagined has already begun. That your desire is already moving toward you. Not by force, but by faith. Not through action, but through alignment. You see, there is a divine intelligence that takes over the moment you relinquish control. The moment you stop trying to make it happen, and instead accept that it is already done in consciousness. You activate the greater power within. This power does not require you to sweat, struggle, or sacrifice. It only requires your willingness to surrender to the unseen, to live from the unseen, and to believe in the unseen more than you believe in what you currently see. When you go to sleep tonight, do not review your problems. Do not replay your frustrations. That is how you fertilize the weeds. Instead, plant the seed of your ideal reality. See it, feel it, own it. The mind may wander, and that is natural. But bring it back gently, lovingly. Focus again on the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Not the image alone, but the emotion it brings. The relief, the gratitude, the peace. Let that be your resting place. The deeper you go into sleep, the more permeable the boundary between conscious and subconscious becomes. In that in-between, you are both the dreamer and the creator. You hold the brush and the canvas. Do not squander that moment painting old pictures. Create new ones, and believe in them more than you believe in the day's limitations. Because the subconscious, once impressed, must express. That is its law. It does not argue, it does not judge, it simply accepts and delivers. Think of it like this. Your imagination is the blueprint. Your feeling is the energy, and sleep is the cement that fixes the pattern into the foundation of your being. Whatever is fixed there must come to pass. So tonight, before you close your eyes, ask yourself, what do I want to be true? And when the answer comes, don't think about it. Feel it. Become it in mind. Live it in heart. Let that assumption wrap you like a blanket. And let sleep seal it in. Do not be concerned if things do not change immediately. That is not your role. Time is simply the delay between assumption and realization. But the assumption must come first. Persist in it. Let each night be a rehearsal of your new reality. And soon the lines between dream and waking life will blur. You will wake up into your assumption. You will step into your imagined life. Not because you worked harder, but because you surrendered more deeply. This is not about passivity. This is about mastery. This is not laziness. This is alignment. To do nothing and get everything means you have mastered the art of inner causation. You have stopped reacting and started creating. You no longer live by what the world shows you. You show the world what to reflect by how you feel and think within. You become untouchable, unshakable, because your reality no longer depends on appearances. It flows from conviction. The conviction that your imagination is the only true reality. And when you carry that conviction into sleep, you change the very trajectory of your life. You tap into the power that created the universe. The same power that shapes galaxies responds to your assumptions. That is how powerful you are. You were never meant to force your life into shape. You were meant to imagine it into being. Every desire you have is a seed planted by God. And your imagination is the water. Your feeling is the sunlight. Your sleep is the soil. Do not doubt the process. Tend to your garden with faith, and in due season you will harvest all that you have planted. Not by striving, but by resting. Not by chasing, but by assuming and receiving. Let go of the idea that hard work is the only path. Let go of the belief that success must come through struggle. Those are old stories, old assumptions, and as long as you believe them, they will continue to be true for you. But you can change them tonight. You can rewrite the script. You can fall asleep in the knowing that life is easy, that blessings flow to you, that you are worthy of abundance. And if you persist, that will become your new truth. Understand this. What you assume in the stillness of sleep is more powerful than what you declare in the noise of the day. Your conscious affirmations are only effective if they match your inner feeling. You can say, "I am rich" all day long. But if you feel lack at night, you are impressing lack upon the subconscious. So focus on the feeling. Let it be real. Let it be natural. That is the true prayer. The prayer of feeling. The silent assumption. The effortless faith. What happens next is not your concern. That's the beauty of this. You do not need to be the builder. You are the architect. The builder is your subconscious mind. And it never fails. It brings forth what it is fed. So give it the best nourishment. Give it visions of joy, of abundance, of love. And then step back. Relax. Let the process unfold. Do not interfere with doubt. Do not dig up the seed to see if it's growing. Trust the unseen. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are becoming one. Each night as you fall asleep in the assumption of your fulfilled desire, you are creating new patterns of thought, new neural pathways, new energetic signatures. And those patterns draw experiences to you like a magnet. That's the real law of attraction. It's not your desire that attracts. It's your state of being. And your state is shaped most powerfully in sleep. So take this seriously. Make it your nightly ritual. Turn off the noise. Dim the lights. Lay down not as a victim of circumstance, but as a master of creation. Choose your scene. Enter it. Feel it. Fall asleep inside it. And let the universe do the rest. Let the law work for you while you rest in its promise. You are not alone in this. The entire cosmos moves to fulfill your assumption once it is felt as real. You do not need permission to live the life you dream of. You only need to accept it as yours. Now, in imagination, before the world says yes, you must say yes within. And sleep is the perfect time to do it. When resistance is low, when the conscious mind is quiet, when the soul is open. That's when the miracles are planted. That's when destinies are rewritten. And so let it be easy. Let it be light. Let it be joyful. You do not have to carry the world on your shoulders. You only need to carry the feeling of your fulfilled desire into the stillness of sleep. That is your sacred task. That is your divine responsibility. And the reward is beyond anything the world can offer. It is peace. It is power. It is the effortless unfolding of everything you have ever desired. So tonight, as you lay your head to rest, remember this simple but eternal truth. You do not need to chase, beg, or force your dreams into being. You are the dreamer. And dreaming creates reality. What you accept as true in the silence of sleep becomes fact in the light of day. This is not fantasy. It is law. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. And trust the unseen power that responds with mathematical certainty. Let go of the how, let go of the when, and simply fall asleep in the knowing that it is done. For he who can feel it real in the stillness of the night will awaken to its manifestation in the brilliance of the day. Do nothing and receive everything, because you dare to believe. Close your eyes for a moment. and remember the thing you prayed for in the silence of your soul, the dream that lived in the quiet of your heart, the one no one knew you cried about. It's closer now than it has ever been, not because the world is changing, but because you are. You thought you were waiting, but you weren't waiting. You were aligning. Every tear you shed, every moment you dared to believe, every time you imagined life better than it was, that was not waiting, that was becoming. You see, the moment you desired a thing with feeling, it was created. Your faith was the blueprint, your emotion was the fuel, and your imagination was the place where the divine blueprint was first formed. You thought it wasn't here, because your senses couldn't see it. But the unseen is always first. The invisible is the birthplace of the visible. And now, the earth is catching up with heaven. You're beginning to sense it in small ways. A conversation that confirms what you felt, a coincidence that feels too precise, a shift in your spirit that says, it's already done. This is not a coincidence. This is not luck. This is the harvest of seeds you planted in silence. It may not come how you expected it. It may not look like the vision at first glance, but it is here. And if you don't reject it, if you don't doubt it, if you simply give thanks for it, as if it already has fully arrived, you will live it, walk in it, breathe it. The prayer was not you asking a distant God to move. The prayer was you moving into the state of already having. You spoke it in quiet, and now it comes with force. You sowed in tears, but now comes joy. And the only thing you must do now is this: accept it. Accept it without fear. Accept it without guilt. Accept it without feeling unworthy. Your job now is to say thank you before it arrives. Your work now is to rest in the knowing that it has. Because when you no longer ask and only live in the gratitude of receiving, the gates open and the blessings flood in. So today, walk like it's here, breathe like it's done, smile like the heavens have delivered, because they have, and the blessings you prayed for, they're not on their way, they're here. What you once felt was far from you, unreachable, or perhaps even impossible, has already taken form in the unseen realm. The moment you truly desired it, and felt the reality of it within yourself, the act of creation was completed, not in the physical world that your senses can touch and see, but in the unseen, in the spiritual blueprint that shapes all things before they become tangible. The world you see is a mirror, not a maker. What exists around you is merely the echo of what you have imagined and accepted within. There is no such thing as unanswered desire when it is met with unwavering belief. The universe does not respond to need, it responds to knowing. And when you knew deep in your soul that what you asked for belonged to you, even for just a moment, it was done. In that sacred instant of inner acceptance, the seed was planted. And though your outer world may not reflect it yet, the inner world, where all things begin, has already aligned with your wish. The delay you perceive is not a punishment. It is not evidence that the universe is ignoring you or that you did something wrong. It is simply time aligning with eternity. It is the unseen working out the details, orchestrating the people, places, and circumstances necessary to bring the invisible into form. We are taught to think in straight lines, cause and effect, effort and result. But the truth is far more elegant. Once you feel the state of already having it, reality begins to rearrange itself around your inner conviction. You see, you must not confuse what your senses tell you with the truth. Just because you cannot yet hold it in your hands does not mean it is not already yours. The invisible world is rich with answers, and it always precedes the physical. Like the roots of a tree hidden beneath the earth, your answered prayer is already growing in silence, preparing to break through the surface. You do not dig up a seed to check if it is growing. You water it with trust, nurture it with joy, and wait with certainty. That which you thought was out of reach is already reaching back to you. Every time you return to the feeling of already having, every time you act in faith, you draw it nearer. But in truth, it is not coming closer. It is you who are aligning with it. You are shifting into the version of yourself who no longer needs to wait. You are meeting your blessing in the state where it already exists. So rest in the knowing. Let go of chasing and forcing. Release the doubt that creeps in when the world seems unchanged. Instead, return to the stillness. Feel the joy of already receiving. Know that the universe cannot forget what was born through your desire and belief. It is done, not in some future moment but in the now. And your job is not to question how, but to remain faithful to the truth that it already is. What you once felt as distant is already complete in the invisible. Let that be enough. You are not waiting, you are aligning. The blessing you seek is not ahead of you, dangling like a prize just out of reach. It is within you, waiting for you to rise to its frequency. You were never meant to chase what is already yours. You were meant to become the version of yourself who naturally lives in the reality where that blessing already exists. The shift you crave will never come from effort alone, nor from begging, nor from time. It comes from identity. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. The law of life is mirroring, not rewarding. Your world is not responding to your need, it is reflecting your state. And so when you try to wait in the way we're taught, counting days, watching the clock, hoping for signs, you fall out of alignment. Waiting implies separation, but alignment implies unity. When you're aligned, you're no longer asking when or how, you're living as if it's already done. This is not about pretending, it's about embodying. It's about realizing that the life you dream of does not require you to do more, it requires you to be more. Not in the sense of performance or status, but in the sense of awareness. You must awaken to the version of you that already has peace, love, abundance, success. That version of you is not far away, it is within reach the moment you shift your self-concept. You don't have to beg the universe for what you already possess in spirit. Instead, you must align with it by assuming it as your truth. You walk differently when you know the answer has already been given. You speak differently when you no longer fear lack. You think differently when you know the outcome is already written. That is alignment, and the world can't help but match it. Circumstances are never the cause. They are the effect. The cause is always internal. The state you dwell in, the feelings you allow, the assumptions you carry. Shift your internal state, and the external has no choice but to respond. The person who lives in alignment doesn't wait for things to happen. They carry the conviction that they are already happening beneath the surface, even if unseen. You must stop chasing and start transforming. You must stop begging and start believing. The difference between waiting and aligning is subtle but powerful. Waiting keeps you in a state of lack. Aligning moves you into fulfillment. Waiting delays. Alignment manifests. So ask yourself not, where is my blessing, but instead, who must I be to live in that blessing today? And then become that. Feel that. Move as that. Let that state take root in your imagination and grow in your heart. Because the moment you shift inward, your world must shift outward. You are not stuck, you are not behind, you are not forgotten, you are aligning. And in that alignment, everything you've asked for is already reaching for you, ready to reveal itself the moment you finally recognize it as your own. The prayer was never about asking, it was about accepting. You were never meant to beg the heavens for what your soul already knows is yours. True prayer is not the words spoken with your lips, but the condition of your consciousness. It is not a transaction, it is a transformation. The moment you enter into the state of already having, you are praying correctly. That moment of stillness, of gratitude, of deep inner knowing, that is the sacred space where all things are received. You may have been taught that prayer is about petition, about pleading with a higher power to intervene. But the truth is far simpler and far more powerful. Prayer is not reaching outward, it's sinking inward. It's the act of accepting, within your spirit, the reality of your desire as if it were already yours. You do not need to convince the universe to give. It has already given. Your only task is to receive. and receiving happens through alignment, not anxiety. This is why so many prayers go unanswered, not because they are ignored, but because they are not believed. To pray while still feeling separation is to speak words without power. To say you believe while continuing to dwell in the state of lack is to cancel out the prayer with your inner contradiction. Real prayer begins the moment you stop trying to get and start choosing to know that what you desire has already been heard, to know that the answer exists even before the evidence appears. When you pray correctly, you don't feel tension, you feel relief, because you are not initiating something, you are stepping into what has already been prepared for you. The shift is internal. You walk differently, you speak differently, not because you are pretending, but because your inner world has changed. You are no longer requesting, you are resting. And this rest, this quiet inner confidence, is the sign that you have truly accepted the blessing. You cannot fake this. You cannot trick the universe into delivering something by repeating the right words. You must become the person who already holds it. That is what real prayer does. It changes you. It reshapes your self-perception. It raises your awareness. It teaches you that you were never waiting for something to happen. You were simply being invited to believe that it already had. The moment you shift into the consciousness of having, things begin to move. Not because you force them, but because the world must reflect your new state. This is law. You no longer need to ask repeatedly, hoping for favor. One prayer, one true moment of inner acceptance is more powerful than 1,000 cries spoken in fear. So stop pleading, start believing. Sit in silence and feel the truth of what you've asked for as though it were already yours. Let your heart say thank you, not from desperation, but from completion. Because the one who accepts, receives. The one who embodies the end, arrives at it. The prayer was never about asking to be heard. It was about knowing you already were. Signs may not look like miracles, but they are. The world has taught us to wait for thunder and lightning, to expect the heavens to part and deliver our blessings in grand, unmistakable gestures. But real miracles often arrive gently, quietly, not with a bang, but with a whisper. You may be looking for fireworks, but the universe often moves in stillness. And when it does, it speaks in signs, subtle shifts, moments of peace, unexplained calm, dreams that feel more real than waking life. These are not coincidences, they are confirmation. You may not see the physical form of your answered prayer yet, but you felt it. You've noticed yourself becoming less anxious, more grounded. That inner calm you're starting to feel. That's not just maturity, it's alignment. It's a sign. That recurring dream, where you feel the freedom, the love, the abundance, that's not just your imagination, that's your inner world previewing what's coming. These soft impressions are not placeholders for the real thing. They are the real thing in seed form. You must train your eyes to recognize miracles before they are obvious, because what you call small is actually sacred. A sudden moment of clarity that ends your confusion, a conversation that speaks to your exact need, a sense of knowing, even when the world gives you no proof. These are signs that your inner world has shifted. And when the inner shifts, the outer must follow. Many give up on their desires not because they weren't answered, but because they didn't recognize the signs of their arrival. They expected a door to burst open, but missed the soft hand turning the key. They wanted the entire staircase revealed and ignored the one step illuminated before them, but that's how it works. One subtle shift at a time. And each one is a miracle if you choose to see it that way. There's no such thing as a random moment when you're in alignment. That gentle feeling that tells you to rest, that's your spirit being prepared. That flicker of hope that returns after days of doubt, that's evidence that the unseen is working in your favor. Miracles are not only found in the manifestation, they are found in the movement of your heart, your mind, your feelings. You must not be discouraged by silence. Often silence means the universe is arranging, not ignoring. Often the stillness is not emptiness, it is fullness not yet expressed. Your only task is to keep walking, keep trusting, and most importantly, keep noticing. Gratitude sharpens your vision. When you are grateful for the small, you become capable of receiving the great. So notice your peace. Notice how you no longer chase. Notice how the fear is fading. These are signs. Not the loud kind, but the faithful kind. The kind that confirms what you prayed for is landing softly into your life, like morning light entering a quiet room. The miracle is already happening. It may not look like you expected, but it's here. And if you can feel it, if you can honor it before the full picture appears, then you have truly become the one who no longer waits, but receives. Imagination was the bridge. Now the physical is catching up. Long before your desire ever touches the material world, it lives in the unseen realm of imagination. There it is real, alive, and fully formed. It's not a fantasy, it's the blueprint. Your imagination is not pretending, it is perceiving what the physical world has yet to reveal. When you feel something deeply within, when you see it so vividly in your mind that it stirs your emotions, you are not imagining in vain. You are building, you are creating. Everything that exists around you was once imagined. The chair you sit on, the home you live in, the technology you use, all were once unseen ideas held in the minds of those who dared to believe in what had not yet taken form. This is how all creation begins, not with the physical, but with the invisible spark of belief. Your imagination is not just a tool, it is the place where miracles are conceived. And now the shift is happening. The outer world is beginning to reflect what you once held within. Maybe it's not complete yet, but you can sense the signs. You notice people showing up, opportunities presenting themselves, emotions stabilizing, old limitations falling away. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. The physical is catching up. The seed has broken the surface. But the temptation to doubt is strongest right before the full manifestation. Your senses may still argue, "It's not here," they whisper. "Nothing's changed." But your senses can only confirm what already is. They cannot see what is becoming. And so, you must stay loyal to your vision. You must remain faithful to what you imagined, even when reality still looks the same. Loyalty to the unseen is the greatest test of faith. It's easy to believe when things are visible, when evidence surrounds you. But true power lies in the ability to remain rooted in the unseen. To know that what you imagined was not fiction, but foresight. You walked the bridge of feeling, and now your world is responding, slowly, subtly, then suddenly. You do not need to force it. You do not need to push. You only need to remain in the state of having. Feel it real. Speak as if it is already done. Act with the quiet confidence of one who knows the outcome is sealed, because it is. The delay is not denial, it's unfolding. This is where many fall away. They abandon the vision too soon. They see no change and call the dream dead. But the wise know that the imagination is more real than anything the eyes can see. The wise hold to the vision when it's hardest. And because of that, they see what others never do. So stay loyal to what you imagined. Return to it often. Feel it deeply. Nourish it with gratitude. You are not creating it now. It is already created. You are simply walking toward what you've already built in spirit. And with every step in faith, the invisible becomes visible, the imagined becomes physical, and the dream you once held in silence becomes the life you now live in fullness. Gratitude is the signal that you've already received. It is not simply a nice feeling or a polite response. It is a declaration, a vibration, a state of consciousness that says, "It is done." When you give thanks, not out of hope, but from the deep assurance that what you desire is already yours, you align with the very frequency of fulfillment. Gratitude is not a reaction to blessings, it is the cause of them. Most people wait until they see change to express thanks. They wait until the money arrives, the healing comes, the relationship begins. But this kind of gratitude is conditional. It is based on the senses. It is rooted in doubt and delay. True gratitude, the kind that opens doors and shifts reality, is unconditional. It happens before the evidence, not after. It is spoken in faith, not in response. When you start to say thank you for what you cannot yet touch, you are telling the universe, I already possess this. I already live in this reality. And in that moment, the world begins to reshape itself around your inner truth. You are no longer asking, you are affirming. You are no longer reaching out, you are receiving inwardly. This is the great secret of manifestation. You must feel as though it is already done. And gratitude is the purest expression of that feeling. You cannot fake it. You cannot say the words with doubt in your heart and expect results. But when your thanks rise from a place of conviction, everything begins to move. Gratitude changes your posture. It quiets the anxious mind. It brings peace to the waiting heart. Because a grateful heart is not waiting in uncertainty, it is dwelling in completion. You are no longer chasing blessings, you are simply watching them unfold in divine timing. You walk with a calm assurance, not because you are lucky, but because you are aligned, and the world responds. The right people appear, the door opens, the answer arrives, not because you forced it, but because your gratitude became a magnet. It was the energetic proof that you already held the thing you prayed for, and the universe, like a mirror, reflects what you truly hold within. So begin now, not tomorrow, not when the evidence appears, but now. Give thanks for the love, the health, the freedom, the abundance, as if it is already yours. Say it in silence, whisper it to the sky, write it with conviction. Let every breath become a prayer of fulfillment. Let your heart say, thank you, not out of wishful thinking, but out of inner certainty. The moment you shift from asking to thanking, you step into the state of receiving. And in that state, you do not need to wonder, when will it happen? You simply rest in the knowing that it has. Gratitude is not a practice, it is a power. It is the signal that you've already received, and once sent out, the universe has no choice but to confirm it. What you once called waiting was never waiting. It was alignment. The desires that stirred your heart, the visions you held in imagination, the prayers you whispered in silence, they have all been heard, and more importantly, they have already been answered in the invisible. Every shift you feel within, your peace, your clarity, your stillness, is proof that the physical is catching up with what your spirit already knows. You are not chasing your blessings. You are remembering they were always yours. You are not begging for miracles. You are recognizing them in every subtle sign. The world around you is starting to reflect the world within you. Stay loyal to your vision. Trust the quiet. Give thanks before you see. This is how the unseen becomes seen. Now walk in the assurance that the blessings you prayed for are not coming. They are here. And as you move in faith, feel in wholeness, and give thanks in advance, the invisible will continue to unfold into your reality. Thank you for listening. May you live from the end, give thanks like it's done, and receive all that is already yours.